Hey everyone, and welcome to another episode of Catching Up with Athletes. I'm your host, Lauren Kalil. On today's show, we have 17-year-old Canadian athlete who stood on top of the podium last year in the teenage division at the games. But boy, is she showing us we got to watch out for her in the big leagues. We have Emma Lawson with us today. Hey, Emma, how's it going?
Good. How are you?
Good. You've been busy getting back to school, full-time training. What's it been like?
Schedule's always busy, trying to balance both. But yeah, we've had a couple days off school, so I've really been enjoying this downtime. It's much needed downtime.
Is this downtime like a nice refresher to give your body a little more TLC, or do you have your coach program you a little bit more, or how do you find that balance when you're in school versus when you have a little bit of a break?
When I have a bit of a break from school, I definitely have a lot more time to focus on my recovery and getting lots of sleep and, all that kind of thing. It's definitely harder to manage when I am in school. Just, there's only so much time in the day, but yeah, it's good. I like being really busy. I find I'm way more productive that way. When I don't have school, I'm kind of like, what am I doing? I just kind of want to be in the gym all day. But yeah, the training amount stays the same as it would in school.
So you have about a year and a half left of schooling. And then what are your plans? Do you want to go full-time athlete? Is there any college plans in the works? What are you thinking so far?
So I'm not 100% sure. I do know that I want to go to university, so I'm gonna do something. I'm not really sure what yet. But I just think I know I'm only gonna be a competitive athlete for so long, so I just want to have a backup plan just in case. You never know. So yeah, that's my plan.
Awesome. Plenty of time to figure it all out too.
Yeah.
Nobody ever really knows like exactly what they want to do right off the get-go. So you're going to find your way.
Probably more the sciences, because writing essays is not my favorite thing to do.
I feel like people either love the sciences and the maths. That was not for me.
Yeah.
Or the people love the essays. So it's never really both of those.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Of course.
When it comes to training, you've actually been training at home, living in Canada for quite a bit, but I think that gyms just open back up. Has yours been able to open back up? Have you been able to get back to like your gym training?
Yeah. So our gyms actually just opened up on Monday. So yeah, it was definitely nice to be back and in that community with everybody. It could definitely be hard at times to stay motivated. Always working out in the garage, especially since it's winter, so it's really cold out there. I don't always want to go out. But yeah, when there's lots of people around, it's so much more motivating. And yeah, I just love the community there. It's really great to be back finally.
What do you think was the biggest like hurdle that you found training in a home gym for so long?
Well, I definitely think it really, as tough as it was, it really benefited my just overall mentality. Obviously your mental strength is huge in the sport of CrossFit. Well, any sport really, but so I definitely found that I was able to, there were so many more days where I felt unmotivated and, just getting out there and just getting the work done. And so I really think that benefited me a lot. I mean, there's always work to do, always, but yeah, it was nice I definitely feel like I have somewhat improved in that aspect.
So you actually think maybe working out at home by yourself, just in the thick of things, all alone with nobody watching, might have actually made you a better athlete over the past year or so?
For sure. Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome. Then,
Yeah.
you found the silver lining in a situation that a lot of people really struggled with. So I think that that's so cool.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah.
The last time that we saw you compete was at the Dubai CrossFit Championship, where you finished ninth place overall. And that was actually your first major individual competition. What were some of your thoughts leading up to it?
Well, leading up to it, obviously, I was super excited. Just the experience, I knew it would be amazing. Just to be, on the competition floor with all of those athletes. So, yeah, I was really excited. Trying to just put in all the work so that I could do as well as I possibly could. The goal going in was to try and place in the top 10. So I was just able to squeeze out that
Yes.
goal. Yeah.
You made it.
Yep. I just made it. It was a great time though. I loved every minute of it.
When you arrived and you're warming up for that first event, what were some of like the thoughts that were going through your head? Finally it being real.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely being in the athlete area and checking in the day before, everything started to really just feel real. I was like, oh my God, I'm actually here. And, in the athlete area, warming up, looking around, I see like all of these athletes that I've been looking up to for so long, just in there with me too. I didn't want to, obviously, I need to try to focus as well, as hard as that was, just because, I was starstruck by all these people.
Yeah.
But yeah, I was really trying to stay focused. All of them were very focused too. So I was just trying to focus on the workout and do as best I possibly could. I really wanted to try and be there to compete rather than just participate. So yeah, that was what I was trying.
And speaking of, some of those feelings of being starstruck when you see some of those women that you've been looking up to through most of your career, all weekend long you were fighting to bump yourself up to advance enough to throw down in that final heat. Then on the last event of the competition, there you were finally there next to some like big name games athletes like Laura Horvath, Sarah Sigmundsdottir. What was it like to, of course you were warming up with them, but then to finally be in lanes next to these women?
Yeah, it was pretty surreal. I just remember beforehand, like, I just really wanted to attack the workout. Like, obviously I knew all of them were going to. And yeah, I just really wanted to push myself there and just test myself and see how far I've really come and how I stack up compared to those athletes. Afterwards, it really, like, after the competition, it was really, I felt it was a confidence booster for myself. I've always kind of struggled with confidence just in my abilities with everything. Like, I'll be like, oh, I know this person's really good at this and I'm not really good at it. And then things kind of get in my head. But after that competition, I was able to prove to myself that, like, I am capable of competing with these athletes. So that just motivates me even more for the season. So
People are now starstruck to see you too, Emma. You're right out there competing next to these women. Do you feel like now that you have that experience under your belt and you have almost proven to yourself that, hey, like I'm supposed to be here. This is, where I'm going to thrive now. Did you have any like takeaways that you can use now to set yourself up for success going into more in-person competitions like that?
I'm sorry, can you repeat the question?
Oh yeah.
Sorry.
Can you hear me okay?
Yeah. No,
Okay.
yeah.
Just from those experiences that you had at Dubai, it being your first in-person competition for individual, is there any takeaways that you have from that experience that you can use going into more individual competitions? Like something that maybe you weren't as prepared for in Dubai, but you're like, oh, okay, this is something that I need to practice on for the next time I'm in person.
Yeah, so I definitely obviously I've been so strength is always been something that I'm kind of trying to work on. So I've been doing more, like, since Dubai, more I'm on a strength cycle right now, so trying to get stronger. uh Other things were it was actually nice to see. I have been working on a lot of high rep gymnastics volume and heavier thrusters. Those were two of my biggest weaknesses before. So it was nice to see that pay off. Other things though, like the running the first day, like I could work on my running some more and just basic conditioning style things. Barbell cycling has been something too that I noticed I should probably work on more. And so, yeah, it was really good to see though, like, cause I felt like I hadn't been in a competition for so long. So it was nice to, you know, test myself, but also see what needs to be worked on before the season begins.
How did winning age group last year at the CrossFit Games compare to competing at Dubai for you?
Well, I definitely felt that, well, the end goal has always been to be able to compete against the elite athletes. So, or just trying to make it into that division as still being a teenager. So even though like I was 9th place in Dubai, I felt way more accomplished than I did after winning the teenage division. So I
How cool is that?
Pardon?
How cool is that for you though?
It's
Like
really cool.
you stood at the top of the podium in your division at the games, but the more rewarding experience was in Dubai.
Yeah.
So speaking of that, and maybe that leads perfectly into the next question that I'm going to ask you, but the Open, it's less than a month away. The format's nearly the same with how you advance to each stage to qualify for the games. But last year you were able to do both age group and semifinals. This year the rules are a little bit different, where you actually have to choose which division, and you can't do both. So have you decided how you're going to tackle that? What's the game plan, Emma?
I haven't really decided yet. It's a really tough call because I know that if obviously the teenage division is still super competitive. Like you look at all those girls there, it's a great competition either way. So I'm not really sure yet, just because I have like obviously been last year I went as a teenager. So I've already kind of experienced that type of thing. And kind of like I said, I felt way more accomplished after Dubai. So I think for me, the biggest thing is I just don't want to kind of let myself down. I think I'm just lacking confidence there, choosing to go as an elite. I just don't want to disappoint myself. But overall, I know that the best I can do, like, I know I'm putting in, like, I'm doing as best I can in the gym. And so I just want to see the work pay off. I'm still deciding, but I'm kind of leaning more into trying to go individual. But we'll have to see. It's a really tough call.
You keep talking about, how you can gain this confidence and be sure on yourself to bet on yourself. Is there like things that you're working on to help change your mindset when it comes to that? Because when I see you on the competition floor, you are an animal. You're ready to go. Like I would never think that, confidence is something that you struggle with. And I know we all have struggles with that, especially you're still so young and you have so much more room to grow, and you will. But are there certain things that can help trick your mind or that you're training to build that confidence?
I think mainly for me, I'm just really trying to focus on, or I guess just focusing on myself and not what other people are doing. I find sometimes scrolling on social media, I can get caught up in. Social media can be a bad place, just things getting in your head and overthinking things. So yeah, I really just try to focus on what I'm doing and not let other people kind of interfere with that, as hard as it can be.
How do you think social media does play a role in whether it's your training or your mindset? Because I mean, I could open up my Instagram right now and it looks like everybody is prepared for the open. I don't feel prepared for the open. And, I know I'm not the only one that feels that way. So how does that affect your training? Like, do you give yourself a time limit to look on social media, or like you don't look around training? What are some of the things that you do to help that?
Well, I tend to, like, obviously I have Instagram. I do scroll on it sometimes. But I kind of choose other apps for my entertainment purposes, just so that I don't get caught up in my own head. But yeah, I'll scroll for a couple minutes, but I try not to spend too much time.
Do you have a TikTok account?
I do.
Have you posted any of those cool dances that people do?
No, I haven't. I've been told that I should do some more and post them on my Instagram.
You need to team up with Haley Adams. I always see her
Yes.
doing fun dances that like everybody needs to get together, all of the ladies, and create one. It would go crazy.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, that'd be so cool. Yeah, they're so fun.
What's your overall goal going into the 2022 season for you, Emma?
Well, the overall goal, I guess this kind of, I don't know. I guess this kind of tells me what my decision is, I guess, based on the other question that you asked. Because the goal, I guess, would be to qualify as an elite individual, which would mean that I'd have to go as an elite individual. So yeah, that is the goal. And we'll try to see if it can happen.
I think you just made your decision on the show, Emma.
I think I did.
Maybe going into today you didn't know it, but through talking it out, it seems like we know what you're gonna do.
Yeah, it's funny because I never really thought about it. Like, that's been the goal. I never really kind of said it out loud. I guess if that's the goal, that's the only way I can do it.
Well, regardless of what you do, we're also excited to see what's in store for your season. We love watching you. And Emma, you have such a huge future ahead of you. Thank you so much for sitting down and catching up with us today.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate it.